Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Voices of the Millennials with your host. That's me, Elle de Lyon, aka Elle the Lion, when I hit the airwaves. And today we have a very special episode. We always have a very special episode right here on Love Bay. You already know what it is. We are here listening live to Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, and we come to you live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We're streaming on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere to 135 countries. And I want to say hello. And it might not be good night where you are, but it is. I'm streaming live here from Toronto. And today I have a very special guest. And I want to just get right into letting you know who our guest is today. Today, our topic, we always talk about conversations about different creatives and the industries that they're in. And we try to uncover how they've made it. We look at their breakdowns and how they've been able to break through to find opportunity in opposition. And today's guest is no exception to this. Her name is Pureness. And we're going to find out a little bit more about this individual and why they go by this name. They are a full-time mobile makeup and hair artist, as well as many other things, an entrepreneur and somebody who has really been able to build themselves up from the ground up. And today we're going to learn all about health and beauty in our community from Miss Pureness. So, Pureness, if you want to join me, you're in the building. How are you feeling today?
I'm actually amazing, and I'm so happy to be here. So I appreciate you.
Most welcome and thank you. I'm so glad we chatted about this a couple weeks ago, making this happen. So it's always nice when things come to fruition. Yes. And so I thought that we would start off with some questions that I like to call you can get with this or you can get with that. And it's just some questions to find out a little bit more about your insights into your industry and, a little bit more about you. All
Okay, so
right. Here we go. So they're just like, whatever comes to mind, you can answer these questions. I'll give you an either or. All
okay.
right. So starting out with your profession as a MUA, makeup artist, for anyone that doesn't know, MUA, um, are you more drawn to creating soft, natural makeup looks or more bold, dramatic styles? And I'm very curious to know this because I decided to go with a bold red lip today for anyone that can see me. And I did this on purpose. So I want to know, are you more about the natural look or do you like creating bold, dramatic styles?
And this is a hard one to answer. I love natural makeup, but as an artist, I like to paint, so I like to be creative, so I like to go bold. So it's a one in one. So that's a really hard one. Okay, well, I love when people like to be natural. So let's go there.
All right, beautiful. We love it. I am loving the natural looks as well. Okay, and so this one goes right into kind of where you were saying, sticking point. Do you enjoy experimenting with different makeup techniques and trends, or do you stick to classic styles?
I don't necessarily go with trends, but I do love being creative. So doing different things or outside the box things is always what I'm going to lean toward.
All right, we love it. And you got to go over to Pureness's Instagram to see all of the amazing looks that she creates. And okay, our next question. This is a very important one, and it really has leans more towards the health side of things. And I know you're a big advocate for that. Are
Mhm.
you passionate about using cruelty-free and vegan makeup products, or are you okay with using, whatever gets the job done?
I lean towards what is best for the skin over long term. I do have clients that are long term with me and sometimes getting makeup every single day. So I do like to be health conscious when it comes to the products I use.
Yes, amazing. And I'd love to know more. We're going to talk a little bit more about people who have to wear makeup every day. I'm starting to learn this as I'm getting more into the broadcasting world. And I'm like, for real? Every
Yeah.
day? So, yes, I'd love to know more about that from your perspective. Okay, so next question. Do you prefer, this is more into your lifestyle, being an entrepreneur, having your own business, and really, directing everything. Do you enjoy a fast paced lifestyle or do you like the more relaxed, laid back approach, especially when it comes to running your business?
I'm screaming inside. I like when things I like when things flow, and normally in order to make them flow, it has to be kind of fast paced. But in the personal side, I love being laid back. I love really chilling and finally getting my relaxation when I can. So that's, I guess, a double edged sword. When it comes to the business, definitely fast paced and just keeping things steady and keeping things flowing is probably my number one choice. Yeah.
Love, love, love. I definitely hear you on that. And I like what you said that actually sometimes you need it to be fast paced in order to flow. That's a
Mm-hmm.
very big insight. For everyone at home, hope you have your pens and papers out. Gems will be dropped tonight. We're just getting into it here with Pureness. Okay, so next one. This is just like, I just was curious to know, like, are you an outdoorsy girly or do you prefer to stay indoors on your free time?
Wow, these questions are so me split in two. I really love outdoors as of within the last 3 years now, but I am a homebody at heart, and I love like being home with family, and that's where my heart is. So I'm adventurous, but after the adventure is done for the day, I like to cuddle up in bed.
We love it. We love it. And what I'm getting from this is that you're really balanced. You know, when you have like, I think, because I'm like that too, where I'm just like, I like both of these and I would do them equally.
Yes,
So I think you're balanced. I think that's what this
that's a good
means.
thing. Thank you.
Okay. So next question. Are you a social butterfly or are you more of a wallflower?
I am an introvert, but as pureness, Elizabeth Taylor's an introvert, but as pureness, I am definitely a social butterfly.
Okay, do what you got to do to get the
Yes.
business done. We're going to talk about that too, how you
Yeah.
know, find your different faces, if you will.
Yes. Yes.
So we love that. And my last question is, would when it comes to being a woman, well, a boss babe, I would say, a boss babe, um, do you enjoy getting mentorship? Like, do you value mentorship or from individuals, or would you rather go and do your own research? You know, YouTube University is amazing. But what do you prefer, the in person mentorship or learning on your own time?
100% learning on my own. I'm not a YouTube university graduate at all. I'm self-taught, but I read a lot, and I learned that way. I learned through experiences, life experiences. I watch others do what they see on YouTube and still fail. So I take those notes, and I'm like, well, obviously, there's more to it than meets the eye. So I definitely would say self-taught, but with sprinkles in there of like how I pull in my research. But it's mostly hitting the pavement and really putting in the work that teaches me the most.
Beautiful. I do believe also that applied knowledge is power. So
Absolutely.
learning something, you got to put it to the test in order to really know if you really know it. Um,
100%.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. And I think that that really leads us in. That's our this or that session with Faces by Pureness. By the way, that's her IG. So plug, plug, plug. Please go
Yes.
and follow. And we will now find out, Pureness. One, I would love to know
Yeah.
my number one question. I don't know if you get this all the time, but why Pureness? Is that your real name? Some people ask me if this is my real name. I'm like, for real? So I'd love to know, is this your real name, a chosen name? And then either way, what does it mean to you?
Yeah. It's so funny. For years, actually, people did really think that was my name, and I just ran with it because it felt right.
Mhm.
But no, it's not my birth name. With that said, it was made for me within school years, by accident, really. I was always talking about how you have to be a pure woman and you have to be really about life. And they were like, okay, Miss Pureness, calm down. And that's where it came from.
I absolutely love that because that just leads right into really what these conversations are about and how
Mm,
we like to elevate the conversation because we could stick it, you know, we could stay right there. You could have stayed with, oh, people kind of ridiculing you for doing something that's actually positive for your
right.
life. We'll talk about that. But fine, that's what they decided to do. And some of us, that's where we stop. That's the end of the road for us. We're not going to keep on going down that path because it's just met with so much resistance,
100%. Yeah.
right? And so I love how you actually transformed that painful experience, which I'm just imagining how painful it is,
Right.
and being able to find power. I
Power in
bet
it.
there's some
100%.
people, the ones who said that now, seeing your brand blow up with the name that they tried to keep you small in,
Very much so.
talk about it. That was for you haters. It's okay.
Hello, we're
We go make
winning.
lemonade every day. Keep throwing those lemons. Like, I love that. I love that. And so now, when you did get that name, was this before or after you started to decide that you were going to embark on this journey that you're on now as an entrepreneur,
Definitely
makeup
years
artist?
and years before. And really, I remember sitting there and I was going to register my business and I was like, should I really go with Pureness? And I remember kind of sitting there for a couple hours. And I remember I was in an internet cafe because I randomly just felt like I wanted to register my business today. I have to do it today for no random reason. And I sat there and I was like there for an hour. And the lady came up to me. She's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm just confused. And I finally made the decision. I was like, yeah, this is the name. That's the only thing that's been in my mind. It's been on my heart. So why would I change it? So I registered the name, and yeah, it's been a name that's been lingering kind of there, in and out. But once I made it official, it stuck, and it's really stuck with me through the years. So yeah.
We love it. And how many years has it been for you since you have been on this journey of being a makeup artist and then having your own business?
Well, I would say really having the business, it's been since 2006. So that's when I officially kind of opened the doors, if you will. I was always doing things on the side. While I was working for the government, I was doing this on the side. It was like a side hustle, a side passion. I did it for family, friends, neighbors, and whatnot. Then some of those friends became music artists, and then I was on the road with them and doing their
Hmm.
makeup and things of that nature. So then it became really serious. And then I eventually had to think, am I going to go corporate as I was climbing the ladder in my corporate life, or should I go with my artistry? And it was kind of like a no-brainer, but at the same time it was a major risk because I was coming out of something very secure. So
And tell us more about the security. Like, how was your lifestyle before you decided to be an entrepreneur? Like, what were you into? Like, how was young pureness?
I was just, you know what? I'm very much the same. Like, not much has changed. I'm really just happy go lucky. I love to listen to music. I love to just chill. I'm kind of goofy, like funny and stuff. But when it just comes to business, I guess I'm more serious. So people only see that side sometimes and they don't realize, like, oh, wait, she's actually like chill, But
Mhm.
yeah, for the most part, I haven't changed much. I was always like really friendly. I always met people easily and people always gravitated toward me. And it's always been that way. So business or no business, it's pretty much the same. So yeah, that's how I was in my business then too. And it was a very hands-on people person type of experience in that last career I had. Um,
Mhm.
I was working in Hansard, in Queens Park, and it was a great experience. And I got to meet a lot of people. I was in the house, you know what I mean? So I met a lot of important people, and they met me in the same energy my clients do today. And to be honest, I have corporate clients and government clients today. So it's really the same for me.
Wow, love
Mhm.
it. I was just about to ask whether or not there's any like overlap in your jobs now, and not only in, the clients, but even in the learnings that things that you've taken from working there into your business now.
I think when it comes to anything business first, you're going to keep the same forms of etiquette. Now, at that time, I was an employee. So, of course, I had a certain respects within how much I could push myself up to any degree. Of course, I had a hierarchy. Now there is none. That's replaced with myself. So, of course, I'm running the ship and I have to make those calls, whether good or bad. So, with that said, it's a little different. But however, there is still that person I answer to, which is still my client, because my
Mm.
client still comes first. So within those respects, even though I'm pulling that ship, they're still the water. I still need to make it sail. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, there are still very much similarities with working as a full-time employee versus entrepreneurship. So
Yes, and I
mhm.
love that you touched upon that. I was thinking about this the other day because I too am an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I use art as my, well, same with you. And so,
Mm.
that being said, I was thinking about it the other day. That my dad always used to tell me, like, he's an educator, a teacher, and he said, like, never go work for somebody else. Always make sure that you become your own boss. That's like the only thing that he says that I have to do.
Wow.
So
Wow.
cool. I do that,
Wow.
eventually become my own boss, but then only to realize, just as you've said, that actually you still have a boss.
You
Your
still
boss is your client.
your client. 100.
And I would love to know when like that dawned on you, or was that always a thought that you had in mind?
Mhm.
And was there any resources or people that, really helped you to understand that you're the boss, but you're not the boss? Who's the boss?
Yeah, right. Who's the boss? Gosh, I used to love that show.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I knew this all along, and I've never had any guidance in my business whatsoever. So I pretty much taught myself everything and went through, the trials and errors solo dolo. So yeah, for the most part, but I did know that that was a thing, like from the gate, from the jump, and it never bothered me because I knew exactly what the assignment was.
And for you, what do you feel is your assignment? Like your assignment in your business, and why you do what you do? Like, why are you so passionate about beauty and health? And yeah, why should it matter to our community? I know why it matters
Uh,
to me, but for
yes.
you, yeah.
For me, okay, 100%. When I started out, I just wanted to help people. I remember telling my parents when I was young, I wanted to be the person at the gas station that helped wash cars back in the day. You know, that person that would rinse the car off before you went in the car wash. I thought that was helping people. So that was like a big goal for some reason. But besides that, I also wanted to be a veterinarian. So I was like, oh, I want to help people, but maybe I'll help animals, like that would be really cute. Animals are cute. But that can transcend itself into just helping people in general. And I realized within beauty, all my other careers that I had built up to, I did some customer service, and I built my way up. I got into government and I was helping people, but I really wasn't for the most part. Like
Mm.
I was helping a big machine run, but I didn't really feel like I myself was contributing to helping a community or a growth or a mindset of any sort. So when I started doing makeup on the side, if you will, I was seeing girls cry. I was seeing women who never felt beautiful when they're 60, they're now realizing how beautiful they are. And it wasn't just because of the makeup, it was because of the presence that came with it. It was because of the energies that came with it. And they just felt good in the presence of like this experience they were having. And I was like, there's so much more here that's within me, more than just my makeup brush, clearly. So I used that and fueled that into my business. And that's kind of where that all came from.
That is beautiful. And there's a amazing quote that one of my mentors always says, and I think it's an appropriate time now, that in order to find yourself, you must lose yourself in the service of others. And I
Yes.
believe Mother Teresa is the first person who might have said that, but all to say that ever since I really embodied that feeling and that thought, that intention, then everything has become clear on the path of what I should be doing with this one precious wild life. And it's so beautiful. I love hearing stories where other people have actualized and found themselves in the service of others. I
Mm-hmm.
just think it's the way forward. Just saying it one more time. If anyone's heard me say this repeatedly, go out there, do some service, change some lives.
Do it. Do
Yeah, I
it.
love, and I also, it just resonated with me when you were speaking about how there's grown women who are crying, in your chair because they're just seeing themselves for the first time or seeing their potential.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know more about, is there anything else that you are doing right now with your platform to be able to further that feeling, make people feel beautiful in other spaces?
Right now, it's not just within beauty, it's just making them feel like they've found themselves, like they've finally come into one, which is my own personal journey. And it's so funny because the most obvious part of my journey was weight loss, but it was the mental health and the healing that came before that ever happened. And I
Hmm.
think that's the energy people felt, because I remember people saying to me, "You're so different, something changed." And this is me still at 400 pounds. They were like, "There's something about you, it's just changed." And like, it just feels so good to be around you and your energy. Like, and I felt it as well, because I knew people were gravitating toward me again. And it hadn't been that way for some time, because I had
Hmm.
shut that off and I had put that in the reserve with someone that didn't deserve that energy. So with that said, I finally let go of that toxicity, and I finally remembered that, wait, I'm here to do some work. And it's not just to push a brush, it was to connect with people. And when I started finding myself again within that mental space, I was like, hold on, pause. This is what it was supposed to be. And then I slowly started going into my own physical health journey, and that started to manifest itself where it should have been, where I should have been back in my set weight, if you will.
Hmm.
And I obviously melted pounds, but I melted pain as well.
That is so transformative, and I'd love to touch upon that journey. And I'm glad that you brought that up now, because you went through such a big transformation, as you said, not only physically but mentally. And I'd love to know where you drew the strength from, the inspiration, like what started that weight loss journey for you. And maybe even if you can take us back, if you can, to what even brought you to that point in the
Yes.
first place.
I I don't like to put weight on other things outside of myself, but I will say that I had lost myself within a space that I should not have been in. And because of that, I I fell into that black hole, if you will, and I was serving something that didn't serve me. And with that said, I just, I was completely off. Like, I was shut off. Everything was gone. And with obviously, I guess for many people will say, when they're that far off, nothing really matters around. So yes, I was eating all the things. Yes, I was, you know, secluding myself where I shouldn't have been. And even Pureness was quiet, and people were confused because she's the one that's out there doing her thing. So it even altered some of my business connections, because I wasn't out there. I wasn't connecting. I wasn't, you know, making the business grow as I normally would. And I started to climb physically,
Mhm.
and my mental health started to decline. And I needed the two to come back and balance back in the middle. And I eventually got rid of myself being in that space. And before I really completely came out of that, I started speaking with myself. And as crazy as people want to say it's crazy, I self healed myself that way. So if people think that's crazy, well, I'll be crazy then. I spoke to myself and I told myself that I wasn't going to be who I'm not, which is nobody. And I finally healed that.
That is beautiful. I just really love that you were able to draw that strength, and even in the midst of your entrepreneurial journey. So this is something that, you're battling at the same time as running a business, but
Yes.
then you were able to, decline the pounds and incline
I'm the
or
mental health. Yes, yes, you got it.
increase. Yeah.
Yeah,
Increase the
yeah,
mental health. I like that. That really
yeah.
brought a good picture in my mind, that and I've been there too. Like as
Mhm.
the pounds climb, and as you were saying, you're in this dark space, and the isolation is a killer. So if there's
Yes,
anybody that's out there listening right now that,
yes.
you might be in this space,
Mhm.
you might be feeling like you want to just stay indoors because you don't like how you look anymore, or you don't how you look is just not matching up with how you're thinking about yourself
Yeah,
anymore. I would definitely encourage you to actually go outside of
yes, yeah.
yourself. That's probably the one thing that I could recommend. That helped me too, like, connecting with a trainer or people that are just more well minded.
Yeah.
That also put me back in wellness space. So
Oh,
that
that's
is great
beautiful.
advice. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. And so now, what does your lifestyle look like to maintain
Yeah. So
both of these
maintaining
things?
is me still self-talking. I still self-heal. I still make sure that I'm in check with myself. I have great people around me. Like, there's no words. And I know people say, if you're a great person, you'll bring great people around. Great people will speak for you, speak through you. So that is, I feel genuinely is a thing, because I'm real to the core, and there's nothing like fake about me when people get to really know me. So that really helps that I have people around me, but at the same time, I'm still quiet. I'm still that homebody. I'm still that introvert that's just by herself chilling. And I think sometimes I can solve all the things, but as my close ones tell me, closed mouths don't get fed. So I still do self-talk. I still do that. But, sometimes I do let others know, what? This is where I was, and this is what's happening, and whatever. And they're like, that's nothing for you. You've got this. And it just reminds me again, yeah, you're right. I've got this. I'm fine. And within that, then physically, I changed my eating habits. I changed my physical habits of just, sitting on a couch, really. And I now work out a lot. I'm getting at least 10 to 20,000 steps. I try my best because my days are busy. And I eat one meal a day. I fast, intermittent fasting, basically.
Hmm.
And I'm always drinking water, which I always was drinking water. It was never a problem, but I'm still drinking water. So it just helps all of the whole storyline.
I love that. And I love that you brought up about the eating because I've been noticing that I've been on a similar diet. Like, I just prefer to fast throughout the day.
Okay.
It just seems to work a lot better lifestyle wise. And then also, I think maintaining, weight. And then even I find that with the intermittent fasting, it helps with my mind as well. It's like a diet for
Mm,
my mind
yes.
to not obsess about like getting food, everything about it, like the
That
preparing of it,
part.
like, and then feeling like a failure if you don't meet
Mm,
these ridiculous standards that you have set for yourself in the
exactly.
first place. So again, anyone listening out there in this space thinking about that, like, there are some options. Look into intermittent fasting. It's worked for Pureness and I. So
Yes.
yes, I
Yes.
do recommend it highly.
100%.
Um, not for everybody though. Definitely understand. Like,
That is true, because yeah, there are people that it could trigger things, so we have to be mindful. Yeah.
exactly. And I'd love to know, like, actually at this time, any other kind of health or beauty, maybe not hacks, but things that
Mhm.
you really think are very important for our community, and our community being like the Afro Caribbean
Yes.
community in Canada or even abroad, because we
Yeah.
have some fans that are listening from all the way in Africa, from the motherland. So
Hmm.
I'd love to know like your take on that and things you think we really need to pay attention to.
Yes. I am from an island where they say, out of many one people. And like, that was something when I was younger. I was like, okay, anyways, whatever. But now, oh my gosh, it's just such a big deal. And I mean, obviously, everyone now knows that there's a Marley movie out, and One Love. It speaks so much to, and I'm not even touching on the actual media itself, but just the one love and the thought of like out of many one people. It still brings me back to the fact that all of us are here. We're tied together. We're still unified, whether we're on one land or another, and we need to come together and make things work. And I feel like we're just so quick to be divided, and that happens in entrepreneurship too. Like, we divide ourselves and we think we can do this and that alone, but we're so much better as a core group and making things really elevate. So if there were hacks, I would say let's get together and make things happen. When people contract me out, I work on teams and I see how well the teams work together, and we all bring money in, we all make it happen, we all make clients smile, so there's nothing wrong with creating unification, and unification rule the world same way.
Tell them, tell them,
you
tell
know
them. Yes, I still need to go see that movie, but highly inspired by it because
yeah.
um, just the widespread impact that that
Mm,
family and that man has had on the world.
absolutely.
And may we all be able to bring that kind of positive change to the world with whatever our art might be. And I know that you mentioned a bit about the teams that you work on. So I want to know a little bit about the work that you do on a daily basis
Mhm.
as a makeup artist. And I would love to know, because I know there's some people out there that are interested in this field and they are curious to know, like, what does a day in the life look like of an entrepreneur, someone who runs their own business as a makeup artist? So and I know probably none of your days are the same,
Yeah, no,
but
that's true.
okay, what does a typical
A
week look
typical,
like?
yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go with just like a regular flow day. Like obviously there are going to be days that somebody asked me today, like, do you work every single day of your life? And I was like, yes and no. I mean, it balances out, right? But there's obviously going to be a certain day here and there that nobody has booked. So those will be days that I just allocate as days off or errands or whatever. But generally a day would start off with, actually, let's start from the night before. The night before, I've washed and sanitized brushes. I've gassed up my vehicle. I've prepped. Now my brushes are sitting in sanitation and drying stations, and they're getting ready. And then I've set my alarms. I've done all the things. I've spoken to all whomever I need to see the next day, made sure everything's confirmed, addresses. I pre-map out what I'm going to be doing and how much distance in between each, so that way everything flows. I normally do this before, but I always do this again the night before. And then I rest my head. And if that's only for an hour or two, then it is what it is. Sometimes I stay on the road just because I'm already in a certain city. But either way, I get my rest at that point, and then I start my day. If that alarm hits, there's not much time to hit snooze. I get ready and I repack up everything. Especially during the winter, I have to bring my kids inside. So then, yeah, I repack up everything and I hit the road. That could be 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 10 a.m. It all depends, of course, depending on each booking and what's going on. And like a day like today, I had bookings from 5 until 6 p.m. So 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. I pretty much wrapped at 6. And yeah, just clients back to back. These were just individual clients. Now, other days it might be like a Saturday morning, I have a wedding, and then I'm prepping for that, and I'm getting ready, and I'm doing a bunch of people in one space. So it's all different. But days like today can be really crazy because you're really on the road. You're tired. You need to stay focused on the road and what have you. You need to pay attention to, some clients will be like, can you message me like 10 minutes before? I'm like, no, I'm speeding down the road to get to you. I can't message you. That would be dangerous. So yeah, no, that's pretty much, it's just back to back. It does get hectic. It does get daunting. It's not for the weak. It's really not for the weak. After all of that is done, I might not be on a live stream, but then I would wrap for the day. Again, gas up, get home, sanitize, wash, set up, get ready for the next day. And it just continues like that.
Thank you so much for that. I really love how you broke that down, especially the prep for the prep, because
Hmm.
like making sure that your gas is
Yeah.
filled in your, oh my god, the amount of times as an entrepreneur or anyone that, like, you just have multiple meetings, you have to be at different places in
Yes.
order to perform your job, whatever
Yeah.
that might be. That is like a time killer. It could
Yeah, it
really,
is.
like,
It is.
really ruin your day having to
Yeah.
stop at the gas station, as small as it may sound. So I'm actually
Absolutely.
taking that away. My mom is going to love you, because she always tells me to make sure that I have gas, and she'll look at my tank still sometimes and be like, "You don't have any gas." Or she'll use my car and she's like, "How can you drive around with a quarter
Yes.
tank?"
With this
Yeah,
empty.
and a quarter tank to her is empty. So
Oh
you
yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah.
be at
I feel
half,
the same
like,
way. So me and moms are
yeah,
the same. Yeah, we're the
right? And I think these are practices that
same.
we
Hmm.
take for granted. We think people are nagging us, but it elevates your game,
Hmm.
honestly, to be able
Hmm.
to get to places at the time that you said you were going to be there
Yes.
safely, all those kind of things. So I
Yeah.
love that you broke that down. And
Yeah.
I'd love to know, because you mentioned it's not for the faint of heart. It's not. That
No, it's
schedule,
not.
it doesn't scare me though, like,
Yeah.
because I feel similarly. I'm like, yep, that sounds about right.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but it does scare a lot of people. That being said, I'd love to know, were there any times that you have felt scared, like where you were just like, no, it's done for me and this
Like a couple
business.
days ago.
We we are out of here. And when those things happen, if you care to share like any real examples, but when those things happen, and I know self-talk is huge for you, are there any particular things that you say to yourself to like bring yourself back to, I got this?
Absolutely not. I freak out till I get there. No, honestly, there are some things I'll even reference, like, this is a real fact. Just a handful of days ago, I was I was supposed to be doing promo for the Marley movie and the events and whatnot, and we had ourselves lined up. However, they realized that there was no makeup at the station, so I was like, "Oh, okay." But when I don't even know how I woke up. It was just by the good graces. I looked at my phone and they were like, "Okay, but we don't have makeup, so can you come?" And I was like, "Sure." And this was like at 3:30 a.m. And I'm like, sure, I think it was 2 or 3. Yeah, something like that. And I was like, yeah, sure. And they were like, okay, so you have to be here for 4 something. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, did I gas up? Did I do the things? Because I was not prepared. And these are the moments where it's like, yeah, no, you have to make sure, just like you said, your gas up, your all of the things. Because in that moment, if I needed to get gas, if I needed to shower, if my brushes were dirty, I would have not been able to take the booking, or I would have been a complete wreck. So
Mhm.
I remembered going in the vehicle, warming it up, running back inside my house, putting things together, throwing on clothes. And I remember I had a 5-hour drink right beside me, and I was like, yep, this is what we're doing. I don't remember being conscious of any of what I did on that morning. I got there, I parked, and then I got to the front, and the lady was like, do you have a key? And I was like, no, I have to be upstairs right now. And she was like, okay, ma'am, well, maybe you should call them to come down. I was like, no, we have to go. And then the guy saw my urgency. He was like, I'll escort you upstairs.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Sometimes you
there
have to hit
is,
them with that.
yeah. So there really is no self-talk at that point. You're just like, go. You have no sense of what's really happening around you. But that's just going to show, again, it's not for the faint of heart. And I
Hmm.
think that's the only point I made there, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and for you, even in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
what stops you from like just throwing your brushes up in the air and just
Oh,
saying like,
yes.
actually, it's not going to happen today? Like,
Yeah.
what like
Yeah.
drove you like to continue down the road?
There's something in me, and I think it's a stubbornness, but it's a good stubbornness. I absolutely will never quit. I
Hmm.
just can't quit. I don't have it in me. Like, if I quit, I can't even put that into words, what it would feel like. I just can't. It's not even feasible to me. So somebody saying, why didn't you just take a break? Why didn't you just cancel? Why didn't you just say no? I'm like, what kind of option? Those aren't even in my dictionary. I don't understand that thesaurus
Mm.
that you're speaking to me. So yeah, I just don't even have it in me. So I don't even know a good answer for that one.
Well, I think for me, that was the perfect answer.
Mm,
It's from, what I guess stops me from quitting things that I'm very passionate about is
mm,
definitely this idea that, one, what would life be without me challenging myself to
that.
accomplish things? Like,
Mm,
what else would I be doing? Sitting on the couch? Like,
exactly.
forget it. So that alternative like stops me. But then also, I just think about entertaining no other thought than me attaining the goal, however that looks. Like, the show must go
Go
on.
on.
That's like, I think
Yeah.
the only thing that sometimes runs through my head. I'm like, show must go on. Like,
And
I don't know.
it's crazy because exactly that, without me, the show will still go on. So they'll be fine without me, really. So I'll be the only one losing here. They'll still be winning. So do I want
Hmm.
to be part of that winning team, or do I want to give up today? And I never want to give up. I want to be part of the winning team always. So that's pretty much what drives me.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love your tenacious spirit. Just a real go-getter,
Mhm.
somebody that goes after everything they want. And so I'd love to know, um, is there anything else that you don't have right now that you're looking to attain? Like, what are the next goals for Pureness, for your brand, for your business? Where do you hope that it goes, let's say 25 years?
Yes, I don't know if there's something I don't have. Like, I feel like I've squashed all of my goals, but I always create new goals every single year. And within that, whatever they may be, somebody may know about them. I'll, whisper them in someone's ears just to make sure I'm accountable. But I pretty much always hold to my goals. But in terms of wanting something that I may not have, I don't think that's a thing. However, if I were to conceptualize, I guess somehow put it into a physical form, it would be being able to legally work internationally at all times without needing any type of sign over, any type of visa transport, any type of thing like that. Just being able to work wherever, just pick up right now and go right now, as opposed to needing any process. So that's something I would love to attain, so that I can go as I please and know that it's straightforward and it's legal and I'm good to go. That's
Hmm.
a big one for me right now, because I do things here and there, but then it's just such a process to get through it and so much red tape. So that's one big one.
And I'm really glad that you touched upon that because I wanted to know actually where are the places that makeup, beauty, health, investing in this industry, where has this taken you like around the world? And what are your some of your most notable, maybe if you can share the clients, you can let us know. But if you can't tell
Right,
us,
right. I
I
can't
know there's
always. That's right.
NDAs. I know there's NDAs, but whatever you can tell us, like what are some of your most notable experiences
Oh, wow.
working in this industry, being an entrepreneur?
There are some great ones. Like, I've traveled pretty much the world. I'm still trying to do Dubai. I don't know why Dubai is not calling. Dubai, hello, I'm waiting. Like, I'm waiting.
Hello,
Uh,
Dubai.
it is the bucket list. And it's so funny. People are like, why don't you just go? I'm like, it's not about me just going. I want to get called there. That's
Yep.
what you're not
There's a
understanding. There's a
difference.
difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference. So, yeah, I've been all over the world. I've done Europe. I've done all of Canada. Okay, that's easy breezy. I've done all of Canada. I've also done most, if not all, of the states. I'd have to go back and see which states I haven't done now. But as of recently, I feel like I've covered even more, and almost all of the islands. So yeah, I'm pretty much almost covered there too. So it's taken me places physically. Yeah, I love travel in general. So the fact that work could equal travel, yes. And it's connected me with so many people, and it's not even just people are always like, well, which celebrity have you worked with? It's not even the celebrities, it's just the people. When
Hmm.
I go on certain trips, it's the people on the road that just talk to you and tell you about their stories, and I'm like, you're so beautiful and fascinating to me. That's where my heart goes. It goes with the people who are of the land, and that's what just, it sits with me, it resonates with me, and it changes my day, my outlook on life. It changes parts of me, and I find more goals and unity in myself just to like talk to these people who are, to me, amazing. And like, I don't know, I know celebrities are out there, and we know them, and they're popular and stuff like that, but that stuff sits with me forever. Like, that's just what it is.
And I'm curious to know when it comes to clients and saying yes to somebody, because you bring up some good points that
Mhm.
sometimes, like, just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean they're a great person. Like, they
Yeah,
might not be.
yeah.
And that being said, I'd love to know how do you choose or how do you discern, or do you discern, or do you like mostly just take whatever job comes, or do you say no to people, and what makes you say no?
I will say no if we're not the right fit. And mentally, I cannot make you look beautiful if you bring ugly to the table. And that's
Mm,
not your skin. That's not your facial structure. That's your mouth. That's your tongue. So I can't make you beautiful in that sense. I'm gonna be stressed out. I'm gonna feel some kind of way, some kind of energy. And I don't feel that way often. So I listen to myself when I feel that. It's very serious and it's very real for me. I've come out of situations where I felt completely distraught. And yes, they were some celebrities completely broken after. And I'm like, why did I even do this? It wasn't even worth it. Like, and I now I'm like, I don't need necessarily to have that. I appreciate it when it comes 100%. And when it's the right fit, it's even better to know, okay, wow, I connected with this great person and they have this great platform that they've grown on their own, and I can watch them and learn from them and see them, whatever it is, whatever tools they use to make it happen. And I'm like, I'd love to learn from them, but I will not sell myself out for that same thing, if we're not the right fit mentally, emotionally, and physically. So yeah, I have definitely turned some down. Some, right off the bat, yeah, I'd never work with that person, because
mhm.
you've seen them already, how they are. So you really don't even need them to approach. You already know, like, that's a no for me, even if they did approach with all the monies. it's a no for me.
Yes, and I love that there are some boundaries. I think it's
Mhm,
so important as a business owner,
mhm.
as a person in general, to
Yeah.
have boundaries, to know what you will say no to and what you're saying yes to. That is really, really good advice. And I'd love to know now, like any other advice that you've received that really sticks in your mind as, wow, that gem when it was dropped hit me upon my head top and, set me straight.
Gosh. I mean, over the years, there's so many things that hit, and it's like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Now to come up with one, gosh, I can't even think of any. Like, then they all just mush into one and to become greatness in itself. I can't think of a great nugget, but I do know that recently I was told you have to learn to celebrate yourself.
Hmm.
So I took that because I realized I just don't. I don't. I've had awards that I don't even attend. Like, and it makes no sense to some people. They think I'm being ungrateful, but genuinely, it's just, I'm like, thank you. But for me, the celebratory is just the art in itself, the client in itself that was happy with my work. That's my celebration. The photo that they posted without even remembering I did their makeup, they're using it as profile pictures. They're using it as their business cards and promo. Like that's a celebration to me, not necessarily the trophy. So I know that sounds crazy to some people. Why don't you celebrate yourself more? But that's my celebration. That's when I get excited, is seeing those posts and those things.
No, I
So
definitely seeing your visions come to fruition, like the
yes.
project being done, whatever that might be, that
Yeah.
is, that's my happy place as well. So I can resonate. And I also understand the people that cannot,
Yes, yes,
because we all find joy in different areas. So, yes, it's a
yeah,
nerdy thing, I guess, but I just like when
yeah.
the work gets done.
So I actually, somebody dared me. They're like, okay, the next award you get, you're going to the ceremony. So funny enough, I took the dare, and the next award that came was for a show I'm in called The Nausea Wives of Toronto. So that came up, and I was like, okay, guess what? I'm gonna go. So yeah, that was cool. That was really good. We got some great content, and I got to see the ladies again after a little while. So yeah, I celebrated. So
Yes, that's a big accomplishment. I've definitely seen that show. So,
thank you,
congratulations.
thank you so
That's
much.
huge. And on that note, are there any other shows that you have worked on or that you would want to work on?
Okay, um, I don't know if there's a show per se, like a title or anything, but anything, any production that has Beres Hamid in it, please sign me up. He's like my husband in my heart. Then anything with Oliver Samuels is a go for me because I'm a genuine true Jamaican, and those are my stars. Like those are my celebrities, if you will. Like they are. So
Hmm.
anything there, I would absolutely love to be a part of. So I don't know if there's any one show, if it's a stage play, if it's a performance, whatever the case may be. I would do anything. I'd mop the floors if they asked me to. So yes.
Love that. Love that. And that does bring me to my next question
Mhm.
on what kind of productions or type of makeup do you like to do the most? And then why do you enjoy that?
There is no category I like more than the other, because for me, I'm a person that I like to move around, just like I'm a mobile artist. I'm also a creative floater. So when it comes to doing a lot of the same thing over and over, I can get kind of bored. And it is what it is. An artist, we if we keep doing the same stroke over and over, it gets kind of tiring. So I
Mhm.
like having flows in my artistry. So I like all art, because and all different forms of creative, because it gives me the chance to do different things and keep it a little even kill. So I like everything, to be honest. I know people hate hearing that, and I do hair as well. So I like different forms of hair, whether it be like extensions or doing hairstyles or whatever the case may be. I like different things just because I like staying a little different all over the place and stuff like that.
Got to keep
Mm.
the variety and spice of
I
life.
just like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes life interesting, worth
Mm.
living, more meaningful,
Exactly.
to involve your things yourself in many things. That's how I
Yeah.
feel. I'm definitely hyphenated, hyphenated, hyphenated. My name should just be a hyphen, actually.
Basically, should just
Actually,
be a whole hyphen.
that's a good. You just put me
That's
on to
a
the.
nickname.
I feel like
Oh,
we just came up with something right there. My name should be a hyphen
you
because yeah.
wait. That should be the name. My name should be a hyphen. That's the name right there.
Oh, that's the whole thing. I love it. I love it. See, creativity flowing. What happens when you're just chatting, having an elevated
Listen,
conversation,
I love it.
right? I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to chat more about what you do, why you do it, and also how you can help other folks. So I heard you say that you do, hair as well as makeup. And I want to know, is there any other services that you would want other people to know that you can provide?
Well, I sell hair. It was a personal, private thing at first. And I'm not saying it's still not, but more people found out about it. So I started posting it here and there over the last 11 years or so. But I've been selling hair to cancer patients mostly, because that
Oh.
was my own passion project in this side. Like that was personal in my personal life to help that side of the community, if you will. So I started doing that. And then, of course, within that came some of my skills. I started learning to make wigs and coloring it and all that. So I started doing custom services for cancer patients specifically. So again, I never really opened it up to the main market, but of course, some clients would be like, "Do you do hair?" I'll be like, "Yeah." "Do you sell it to? Do you have access to it?" I'll be like, "Okay, here you go.
Mhm.
If you need, here's my services," and they would, purchase in. But with that said, for the most part, I'm pretty quiet about it. But it's just such a huge thing for my heart. It's one of those things that just fills my heart every single time, and I don't need to sell 55,000 bundles of hair, 3 million wigs. Literally, if I sell one, like it just warms my heart because I'm touching that patient right now and I feel them. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
within that business, I do lose my clients more than I gain them. So unfortunately, they do pass sometimes. And it's a hard business to be in, but it's still so much of a passion project for me that I don't think I'd ever stop. I think it would always be there in the background somewhere.
That is absolutely amazing. Giving of your, again, like giving of service, being of service to a segment of the population, which, losing your hair is one of the most notable things about cancer. Like, that's
Yeah,
how people, when they see you, like, oh, that person has it. So,
it's
being
associated. Yeah.
exactly. So beautiful that you've dedicated your skills and talent to be
Thank
able
you.
to help people in that
Thank
way.
you. Thank you for sure.
Yeah, and I love like the intention behind it as well. As you said, it's not about selling a million wigs. It's just
Hmm.
about touching one life and
Hmm.
then being able to impact that person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before we get out of here, no, the time has run out. This always happens.
Right.
Um, but
Mhm.
before we get out of here, I would love to know what is up next for Pureness. Where can we find you? If someone wants to get in contact with you with any of the things that we heard about today, what is the best place to get in contact?
Okay, well, everybody's like, "Where are you?" I'm everywhere. Sometimes I don't even know where I am tomorrow. But socially, I'm on Instagram. I think that's my most used platform, especially in terms of like messaging and things like that. Other than that, obviously Facebook and all of those, but everything is Faces by Pureness. I keep it
Mhm.
consistent across the board. So FACESBYPURENESS. And that's pretty much across the board. And then, of course, I have website and email, which is makeup at Faces by Pureness. The website is www.facesbypureness.com. Again, I keep it consistent.
I was about to say, I'm just like she said, y'all, that's Faces by Pureness right here on Voices of the Millennials, having an elevated conversation with me tonight on Love Bay Music Talk Afrobeat Radio or Afrobeat Music Talk. I always mix those two up. But what I don't mix up is bringing through the amazing guests each and every week that we have been meeting with amazing female entrepreneurs in the month of February. We're going to keep it going into the month of March. As you know, it's our month coming up. And I think that this would be a great time for me to let you know that I will be needing to book something with you to make sure that I'm looking super fabulous in Women's Month. So one of these days, me and you
Yeah.
together, we're going to make this happen. I can't wait. And we'll definitely have to have you back for a part two. I'd love to get even deeper with you on, the health and beauty, and
Mhm.
especially the beauty, I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to makeup sometimes,
Ooh,
but
yes.
I want to know more,
Mhm.
and I want to stop being afraid of that.
I
So,
like that.
right, I think it's just about education, and I'm so glad you came through and educated us
Thank
on you and what you do and how you do it. And we look forward to meeting with you next time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing, and I look forward to the future with you.
Blessings, me too. So that's it, y'all. That's all we have for Voices of the Millennials. Next up is going to be the Bellas, and they got the biz. And you will see me next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Peace, love, blessings.